All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Believers Club. My name is Harj Tiara, and this is the lovely
I'm Serena. Hi,
Serena.
guys.
And today we're coming at you with another topic. And if you haven't caught last week's, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and share, subscribe, like all those things because we do drop new episodes every Wednesday. And today we're super excited because it's kind of a topic. I feel like a lot of the topics that Serena and I have talked about have been things that we have really conquered and we have understood and learned and implemented. But this time, I feel like this is one of those topics that is still a work in progress. But that's also the reason why we're choosing to do this episode, because we're in the learning stage of effective leadership.
Yeah.
So today we want to talk to you about what does it mean to be a leader? A leadership and being a leader is, I don't know if you felt this way, Serena, but a lot of people are saying the word leader and leadership online. Have you kind of noticed that? I've noticed that a lot. Maybe it's because I follow a lot of coaches and stuff, but
Yeah,
people
could be. Yeah.
are talking about leadership and how to be this and how to be that. And I've never in my life, for up until a couple of years ago, saw myself as a leader. I didn't. And I realized through doing a lot of personal development that actually I definitely am a leader. Serena definitely is a leader. A lot of us are actually leaders, but we haven't discovered ourselves yet.
Yeah. Yeah. We
We've
haven't
yet,
tapped onto that side.
yeah, we've yet to discover who it is that we are. And leadership doesn't have to mean like in a business or work or anything. It could literally be you're the leader of your family.
Yeah.
Maybe you're the person in your friend group that does the different shit. Maybe you're
Yeah.
the person that is like stands out and like lives their own life and has their own opinion, that kind of thing. That's a leader in society, in my opinion. But I know I have a lot of work to do in this realm because my definition of what an effective leader is way beyond where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
And that's why we're like, fuck it, let's do an episode on something that we're still working on.
Yeah. I think leadership is it's a word that like throws a lot of people off.
Yeah.
And I think it comes with maybe a little bit of a negative tone to it.
Yeah.
But I feel like being a leader or just having that mentality is crucial and necessary for us to go through life at a normal pace and not be bogged down by what our life throws at us. I feel like if you can, like Hart said, like sometimes we are the leaders in our home. That's it. We're like the one person out of the 5 people that actually maybe make the plans and the family goes according to that. And that's how your family works. But if even in a business, I feel like leadership is mostly always missing, or like you
Yeah.
said, where we haven't tapped into it or given up, like looked at ourselves and realized like we are actually leaders and we're capable of leading either our life or a whole company. And it's mostly always missing. From my experience, I've seen it. I've never had a good leader or someone who's managing your day to day. It's very hard to come across a good leader because, like I said, I think like leadership comes with a little bit of a negative tone and people stay away from it thinking that it's beneficial. But I think having a leader and being a leader, like I said, is crucial. You need someone who can lead you to where you want to go in a business or even in a home.
Totally. And then to give you the permission to be a leader, right? Because the point isn't to always keep following that person. It's to like discover your own abilities. A lot of workplaces say that they have leadership. I worked at a place that talked a lot about leadership and they had a whole leadership team. And I think they were leading the revenue, but I didn't feel like there was one-on-one support or leadership. It was kind of like, I'm the leader, listen to me, this is what it is, blah, blah, blah.
And that's the leadership that we always hear about, like negative, you know what I mean? It's not to relate to you. It's like,
Yeah.
you're higher than me.
Yeah. And if you think about it, like we also can't really blame society, because if you remember being in school and there's that song "Follow the Leader,"
Is it,
you
I
know,
don't
the
know.
song goes, "Follow the
I'm
leader."
sure I've heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you literally form in a line and follow the person at the front of the line.
Yeah.
And it just teaches kids that, like, there's one person sometimes in charge, and you just shut up and follow them. And we would like walk down the hall singing "Follow the Leader."
Hmm.
And I was like, now that I think back to it, I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. Like, we're being taught to stay quiet and to follow someone and just be dismissive from that point.
And also not knowing if that leader is even the right leader for you.
Just, we've said this is the leader, follow them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so as kids in elementary school singing that song and doing that dance, we grow up and we're like, okay, that's the leader, that's the boss, that's the person that hired me. Okay, yeah, like, I'm gonna do everything that they say. And if I fuck up or if I disagree with them, it gives you like a complex, because you're like, am I am I disrespectful? Am I this? Am I that? And it's none of those things. You're just learning for the first time that you're an individual.
Hmm.
Holy shit.
Hmm.
And I think that's when people start to think of, like, what is it that I can do? What can I contribute to the world? And I think when it comes to now, Follow the Leader has turned into Instagram. Follow the Leader has now turned into social media. What are
Yeah.
the people with the big following saying? What are the people with all the engagement saying?
Yeah.
Um, I'm just gonna repost and follow what they say and blah blah blah, and then maybe I'll have a business too. And I had to learn this the hard way, that it doesn't work like that. There are people that you can come across that you're like, wow, I want to be led by you because I really admire you, because you're 10, 15, 20 steps ahead of where I am, where I want to go.
Hmm.
And then there's like people that will just blindly follow because they don't know how to be their own person. And with that said, we've had some pretty heavy shit hit our year this year, with COVID-19, with Black Lives Matter, with the forest fires, with this. And I'm sure I'm probably missing one or two. And there's just like, and I hate to even say that like Black Lives Matter was a huge thing this year, because I feel like it is a huge thing all the time. But this year, the world noticed, and um, there was so much controversy around it too, right?
Yeah.
And people
Yeah.
are being so split up, and there's politics and all this shit involved. And so what do? You look to the people that you admire to see what is it that they're saying. But if you have you ever sat back and thought about what is your real position on these issues, and are you educated enough to speak up on them? And if you are you afraid to speak up on them because you're going to lose customers, you're going to lose followers, whatever it is? In my opinion, that's not being a true leader, and that's not being true to your business.
Hmm.
And I think that um, I have a lot of work to do around this, because when it comes to COVID, when it comes to certain things, I have a lot of personal views on those things. And I'm afraid to post them, because I know there's a lot of people that would come back at me and be like, that's not cool, blah, blah, blah. And there's a couple people that I really admire that are stepping up and saying those things. And I was like, fuck, I wish I had the balls to say it just like you are. And they straight up say, I don't give a fuck if you ever want to unfollow me, because this is just how I feel. This is what I want to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, Um, it's social media really has like entered into our space in such a way.
Yeah,
Leaders are turning into followers, followers are turning into leaders.
that's so
And I
true.
think the power is just kind of, it's just everywhere. Um,
Yeah,
like you said, sometimes we share shit that people don't even believe half of it, but because someone they follow that has a certain amount of following, they just go with it. They don't
totally.
have any of their own opinion on something. They rather just take someone else's opinion and apply it to them and throw that out in a to make themselves feel like they're somewhat of a leader or
Yeah.
somewhat of a decision maker. But I think true leadership, or someone who's a leader, or someone just who isn't afraid to be who they are or do the things that make them feel like an outsider to others, it's going to come with a little bit of that. You're going to be an outsider a little bit. I feel like when you are trying to lead, you're going to get a little bit of backlash, because people will question your leadership. People will question everything. Think about it. Nowadays, we have literally professors or lawyers or doctors saying something, and because of the way social media works, we literally go challenge what their profession is
Yeah.
talking about. And that's their profession. We don't know shit about it, but because we feel like we know, because of just the way so much information is fed to us daily, we think that we can go make that decision like for someone else's leadership.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, leadership comes with, I think, a lot of backlash. And that's where we've talked about it before when we did the episode for vulnerability. If you haven't seen it, please go check
Yeah.
it out. I think true leadership, it really comes, you have to be a vulnerable person. Like, you really have to not give a fuck and just give it your all, whatever it is, your opinions or whatever it is that you're trying to give. Even us sitting here right now talking about this very topic, the hard said, we're both, is work in progress for us. We're not professionals, we're not professors, we're not speakers, but these are our experiences. This is what we've learned so far. And without us sitting here and making us ourselves a little bit of vulnerable today to sit here and talk about something that we're not, professional, but no, like known as professionals on, I feel like that's what leadership is, in a sense, because we have chosen that, let's start a platform where we can go help others. Hopefully people can find the help from us. And all because we just want to share our side of the story, our vulnerabilities, our sensitivities, our strengths.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, definitely, that is true leadership. Like, you have to have a little bit of a sensitivity and vulnerability because at the end of the day, like you said, we're humans. We're all humans. So we come with all the flaws. A leader at the top, Trump, he's a leader of a country.
Oh.
He's full of flaws. But half of the country loves him and half the country hates him. That's the way.
Yeah. And
That's
he's
what
going to
comes with
continue,
leadership.
and he's going to continue to be who he is. And he's, even though I don't agree with most of Trump's behaviors, one thing is that he doesn't give a fuck what I think about him.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think that as a leader, you do have a responsibility to the world to show up as your best self.
Sure.
I don't know if Trump is showing up as his best self, because at the end of the day, I only see what I see, right?
Yeah.
I don't know him, and this might be a controversial statement, but I don't know him behind the scenes as a person, one-on-one, without the media there sitting across from him. I don't know him. I don't know what's going on in the White House. I don't know what conspiracy theories are real, which ones are not. There's a lot of people saying a lot of things, but it becomes really easy for followers to have rash assumptions based on what is placed in front of them. And I think knowing that, we have to be careful. So as a leader, regardless of what sometimes things are behind the scenes, like when you show up, you have to show up with people in mind, right? And I think that effective leadership includes having a strong character. And I think that it exhibits honesty and integrity, and people have to be able to trust you, and you have ethics, right? And when I say that, I say that with meaning, like, you're not trying to be somebody with the goal of trying to get something. You're showing up as yourself because that's what you truly believe, and you're honest about your feelings, and that's how you really are. Right?
No, for
Thinking
sure.
maybe it might not be that easy for people in politics to do that. I don't know what all the red tape is all about, but on a personal level, when it comes to speaking up about our thoughts, I think that I'm now growing into the space as I'm 31 years old, going on to 32. I'm growing into the space on a one-on-one level with friends. Like, screw even showing up on social media. What about telling your friend, your lifelong friends that like, yo, you're not down with certain things that they do? Or
Hmm.
showing up in a relationship and saying like, "Yeah, I don't like this shit," without the
Or
fear of losing them, because we don't say things to people we love because we're afraid we're gonna lose them. And we're
yeah,
afraid of how it's gonna impact them.
yeah, no, for sure. I've always been that person. Like we talked about it many times. I'm very strong in my opinion and the way I come across as a person. Maybe Harsh can speak to it because you're the outsider. I'm only looking at it myself, but I I definitely pride myself in the way my whole life I've always stuck to who I wanted to be. Like in a sense, I was very comfortable making my own decisions, um, considered like being considered an outsider or someone that doesn't go with the flow. I was
Yeah.
completely fine with that. To this day, like I have let go of a lot of relationships that just weren't serving me. And I'm fine with dumb people. They're still part of my life, but they're not directly in my life every day. And that comes with a little bit of like a little backlash, or I definitely am not considered the peacemaker. You know what I mean? So people don't look to me to peacemake, even though I don't disrupt the peace. All I'm doing is actually just following my heart and what I personally feel I need to do for myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, like so I definitely consider myself somewhat of a leader in my life for myself. I'm definitely a leader. Like I always try to um yeah, just try to make my own decisions and not let other people's opinions interfere with what I want to do for myself or say.
Mm,
um and like I said, like I've also had to be vulnerable and kind of uh, empathetic and understanding of other people as well, because I'm not alone in this life. You know what I mean? I have hard in my life. I have a lot of people in my life. So you have to have a little bit of empathy and vulnerability to know that people will not understand you the way you want them to.
yeah.
And that's okay. And that's what a true leader is, someone who doesn't, it's
Yeah.
okay. Let me just lead you to a proper place. I don't care what you think about me.
Yeah.
I'm going to take you to a good place
Yeah.
if you're taking me to a good place. You know what I mean? So, yeah,
And not every leader is for everybody,
yeah, yeah. Because we're not
right?
going to lead everybody down the same, we're all leading in different directions. So,
Yeah.
my leading will go to a certain place. The only people that want to go there should be jumping
Totally.
on my boat. Just like Hart is going a different direction, and you hopefully it's the right people that are going to be behind her
Yeah.
going to where she's leading them. So, yeah,
Exactly.
for sure. Not everyone is for everyone. And I think that's just a thing, anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a quote right there. Not everyone is for everyone.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's all right. And that's a wrap for us today. And we
Yeah,
want to know how you guys feel about leadership.
yeah,
And what are some of the things that you look for in a leader? What are some of the things that you embody as a leader? Right? What
yeah,
does leadership mean to you? So let us know. Drop it in
yeah.
the comments. Share this. Like, give us some feedback if you guys have some. We'd love to hear from you. And we drop an episode every Wednesday. So we'll see you next week.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.